Good morning after night, everybody. Deni Nakonecni here, and welcome to my review of Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is a film written and directed by David Ayer, starring Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag, Will Smith as Deadshot, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, Jay Hernandez as Diablo, Adam Beach as Slipknot, Karen Fukuhara as Katana, Cara Delevingne as Enchantress, and Adewale Akinawe Agabaje as Killer Croc. Oh, God. Suicide Squad is about this ragtag group of bad guys that are hired by Amanda Waller to stop a catastrophic disaster from taking over the world. She gets these criminals to abide by her will by implanting these tic-tac-sized grenades into their necks and forcing them to carry out these missions, or she'll have their heads blown off. Hey, can someone grab me the Constitution? Because I don't know if it's not, right? It can't be. No. Now, in order to live a more happy and healthy life, I thought I'd begin this review by going through some aspects of this movie that I thought were good. Firstly, Margot Robbie. In the same way the Pope believes in God, I believe that Margot Robbie was chiseled and sanded down to anatomical perfection by Zeus himself, and then she was just plopped down onto this earth to rule and conquer us all, but because of some weird, strange change of heart, she decided to become an actor instead, and, I'm not complaining, because I would have been fine with, either option, so, whoop-de-doo. Secondly, the rest of the cast. The rest of the cast gave good performances. Each cast member was given a paycheck, then they were told how to portray their characters, and then they serviceably fulfilled their contract, and now this movie exists. Literally, the rest of the movie feels like they didn't have enough hours in the day to shoot any of the scenes. The second I was about to immerse myself into a setting or a scene or a conversation, the movie would just cut and it would move on to the next plot point or a character introduction, and this would happen so often that you could practically hear David Ayer yelling "cut" after the end of every scene. The plot of this movie is nope. With the exception of Diablo, the fire guy, and Killer Croc, the crocodile man, the Suicide Squad, they don't have superpowers. They're just folks. I mean, they're crazy, sure, I guess, but they're just people, essentially. And the fact that they had to take on this ancient supernatural demigod at the end of this movie was just so ridiculous, especially since they didn't have to do that. And this obviously isn't some original idea, because I feel like everybody shares this opinion, but this movie would have been leaps and bounds better if they had Jared Leto's Joker as the main villain. But instead, he's on the verge of not even being a supporting character. I'd be surprised if they announced he had more than 10 minutes of screen time in Suicide Squad, which is just terribly disappointing, because from what I've seen from him in this movie, I don't know if I would want to see any more. And it isn't Jared Leto's fault. Jared Leto is a fantastic actor, but the Joker that David Ayer wanted to portray through him wasn't anything identifiable, because he never was given a fully fleshed out scene for him to showcase his range of lunacy in. This Joker was just a weird, horny, tattooed gangster whose sole purpose in the film was to rescue Harley Quinn, which would have been fine if he was just given a scene, just one scene that highlighted how important she was to him, instead of just these quick blurbs of flashbacks all the time. I said it in my Batman v Superman review, and I'll say it again. You can't develop character in a montage. You can't do it. You need a scene. You need at least a single scene that lasts over a minute. And the fact that so many of these scenes fall flat or don't help contribute to the composition of characters is the biggest reason why this movie stinks. Now, I'm not going to spoil the ending or anything, but even though it doesn't matter, but towards the end of the movie, a few characters have visions of what they really want in their life. And I thought this was going to be a clever point in the movie that I'd be able to praise, because juxtaposing a character's ambitions or goals or dreams or desires to what they really are or where they really are in their current state is a great way to express who they really are. So Deadshot, Will Smith's character, he falls into this trance and he has a vision of what, he really wants in life. And we get to see the vision, and the vision is just of him killing Batman. It's a vision of him killing Batman. What? Huh? Who? How is that what Deadshot actually wants from his life? Like, when he's about to die, he'll go to the grave knowing that he did this one thing, and it's to kill Batman? Like, why? Huh? That doesn't make any sense. The whole Suicide Squad wants to kill Batman. It's not just this singular thing for Deadshot. It's a communal thing. He wants to help his daughter. He wants to be with his daughter. Throughout the whole movie, he makes a ruckus about how much his daughter means to him and how much he wants her to go to college and be successful and not fall back into his line of work. And then he has a vision of just killing Batman? Like, what? Harley Quinn's vision was even worse, because not only was it bad contextually, but it was another instance that showcased how DC is hiring these directors that have a fundamental misunderstanding of the characters they're working with. We fade into Harley Quinn's vision of what, she really wants from life, and it starts off as a close-up of a normal button. And I'm not making this up. It's a button that says normal on it, and you see this nice finger press it, and then the camera dollies out a little, and you see that Harley Quinn press the normal button on like this dishwasher, right? But she don't look like Harley Quinn. She's just beautiful Margot Robbie. She's all made up, no tattoos, nothing, and she's totally clean, and she looks great. It's Margot Robbie, and she's holding this little baby, and she walks out of a table with a high chair, and the high chair has another baby in it, and she's really happy. And Jared Leto steps in, but he don't look like the Joker. He's just Paul Allen from American Psycho. He steps in, gives the baby a little kiss on the cheek. He gives a kiss to the other baby that Margot Robbie's holding. He kisses Margot Robbie, and it's this nice, beautiful Mad Men set in the center of suburbia, and everything looks nice, and everything's like nice and perfect. And then it cuts back to reality, and Margot Robbie's just shaking with like a baseball bat, and she looks nuts. And it's just such a facepalm moment, because that's not correct. And again, when it was about to go into her vision, I was expecting to see a panel from a Paul Dini and Bruce Timm's comic called Mad Love, and it's just a Batman story about Harley Quinn, and there's this panel where Harley Quinn fantasizes about her life with the Joker. And in the fantasy that she has in that comic, she's still with the Joker, but she's not normal, and he's not normal, and they have kids, and they're not normal. They're just sharing in each other's insanity. The fantasy that Harley Quinn has in the comic is consistent with her character both inside the comic and outside, in the animated series and other stories. But the fantasy that Harley Quinn has in this movie isn't consistent with either. But this movie doesn't care about consistency, and it strangely made the mistake of treating all of the characters as equal when they definitely are not. This movie didn't leave enough room for the main characters to actually shine while having the supporting cast reflect and play off their star power. Instead, it tried to give all of the characters an equal amount of screen time, and in the end, it all negated each other, and you really didn't have a connection with anybody. If you want to watch a movie that knows how to work an ensemble cast, then check out Ocean's 11 or The Grand Budapest Hotel or Boogie Nights or The Magnificent Seven or 12 Angry Men, Reservoir Dogs, Spotlight. There's so many of them. And as much as I wanted this movie to be good, it's not going to be able to be a member of that list of movies I just rattled off the top of my head. I give this movie 10 points for Margot Robbie, and I'll give it another 20 for Will Smith and the rest of the cast that really tried their hardest to make the most of their characters. So if my elementary school education still serves me today, that is a solid 30 out of 100 for Suicide Squad. Thank you guys so much for wasting your time with me today. If you like my reviews and you want to know more about my thoughts on movies and movie news, then make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you will. My name is Deni Nakonecni, and I will see you in the next one.